Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backstage with Fred Cooper. It's my honor tonight to have one of the greatest people off of Broadway, Mr. John Raitt, with us. John, good to have you here.
Nice to be back in my old home territory.
Yeah, he was just telling me, and I would like for you to tell the audience.
Well, I was born about 5 miles from here, up on Bristol, about a mile south, a mile west of Santa Ana, a few years ago.
Yeah, and where'd you go to school?
Went to school at Fullerton.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
And how did this business come about?
Well, my father was the YMCA secretary of Northern Orange County for about 27 years. So I was singing up the Y camps every summer. Got over the the feeling of being in front of an audience. And our only singing teacher in town was the mail carrier and the tenor soloist. And after my sophomore years in high school there at Fullerton, where I was playing the trumpet in the high school orchestra, a friend of mine said, "Why don't you go over and sing for Gordon Drew," was his name, "because I think you have promise as a singer." So I sang for him. He said, "Well, I think you have promise too." He said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. For my contribution to the YMCA, I'll give you singing lessons." So I went home, put the trumpet in the case, and joined the Glee Club. That was in 1934, and they were doing a production of the Desert Song. So I got a small role in the Desert Song, and I've been singing ever since.
How about that?
Yeah.
So when did the big break come, though?
Big break come was Oklahoma. I was doing some women's club and church dates and Kiwanis and Rotary and Lions and all those things here in Southern California. And I got an opportunity to go to New York to audition for the role of Curry in Oklahoma, and I received that. They didn't put me in the New York company. It sent me to Chicago. I played Curry in Oklahoma for about 10 months in Chicago. And then I was brought to New York. The big break was the Carousel, opening night, Carousel, in 45.
But now you
because I originated.
Yeah,
that role.
right.
Right.
You were part of the original cast. What other shows did you do?
Well, I did about 8 shows out here for Edmund Lester at the Civic Light Opera. One of the highlights of those years was the Annie Get Your Gun production with Mary Martin.
Oh, wow.
And we did a 2-hour live television show of that production. That was pretty exciting. And I did, the next big hit show was the Pajama Game, which I did for about 2.5 years on Broadway.
And then you did a movie.
I did the movie with Doris Day.
With Doris Day. Movie, Better Times, or
I don't know. My old buddy and competitor Howard Keel got all the movies away from me. But I have probably done more performances of leading men roles in musicals than any other guy living, because I never stopped in 52 years.
Is that right?
I did 25 consecutive years of summer stock. As of last October, I have fulfilled one of my dreams. I've now performed in every state of the Union.
Oh, terrific.
That's kind of fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So what year were you born? Can we ask that?
17.
1970.
Yeah, 1917.
Still going. You sounded great out there.
Yeah, well, I was, being the athlete that I was, I've always kept in pretty good shape. Never dissipated too much, and I love my work. I love what I do. Had a great singing teacher. Most people today say, "You have had serious vocal training, haven't you?" Which I say, isn't that a wonderful compliment? Because the art conceals the art, Because I'm a natural singer, which you need for the Broadway musical theater, more than the opera.
But then you lived in in New York for many years,
sure.
Many years.
Had homes on both coasts.
Oh,
right.
Oh, you did.
But I'm known these days as Bonnie Raitt's father, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to that pretty soon here. I know you have a famous daughter that I'm sure.
I never expected that, but it's fine. Well, I was known as Arch Raitt's son for a long time, and then he was known as John Raitt's father, and I guess it's nice to pass that along.
Well, at least, she's done very, very well. You're going to have to
amazing.
Admit.
When she won the 4 Grammys, and I was there, and I knew my former manager was the producer, and I knew he had the camera on me, and I just was blown away,
Is that right?
Yeah.
You guys did a thing here on...
At the Boston Pops. It took me 2 years to convince her it was her idea to do the pop. Dad, I can't sing and I can't sing your kind of song. He says, Bonnie, we're storytellers. You tell your stories with your blues songs. I tell my stories with the Broadway love songs and all that. So that's all. Just approach each one with the honesty and with as a storyteller. So I finally got her to do I'm doing one of the songs, doing two of the songs tonight we did on the show with her. Plus, what everyone expects me to sing. I was saying.
Oh, sure, sure. Of course, I asked the other night at one of my other shows how many, because we have a lot of New York people out here. I asked how many people had seen you on Broadway. I couldn't believe the hands. Many, many hands.
Yeah, well, I spent 5 years of my life on 44th Street, so a few people must have come by.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
That,
and they're just excited to see you.
Good. It's nice to be back. I don't mind, as I say, this is fun for me to sing outdoors because I did it at my dad's Y camp when I was this high. Sang at the Hollywood Bowl and the Greek Theater in those early years.
Yeah,
So I have no problem.
Yeah. So, you got anything? Well, number one, how about movies? How many?
I didn't do too many movies.
You weren't?
No, I was so busy doing shows, and every time like the Pajama Game, there weren't many musicals. I was under contract twice at MGM. Did a couple of small roles in pictures there, and another small role in a picture. So predominantly, I'm just a performer, a live performer, which I like the best to do. And I've done a lot of concerts with symphony orchestras and that like.
Do you have any favorite cities?
Oh gosh, some favorite golf courses. Everybody says they always said you went out on tour so you could play the golf courses. You know?
And some of those in foreign countries, I'll bet.
Some, yeah.
Play a few over in England.
Yeah, I did. We did a show. They had a show like the old Ed Sullivan show. They called Sunday Night at the Palladium. Did that 2 or 3 times, and the first time I did it, being a Scotch heritage, I received a cablegram that read, "Keep the name flying, the rates of Aberdeen, Devonshire, and Dundee." That was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. And Bonnie and I used that all the time, every time we sent a wire to each other.
Was that exciting, singing with your daughter, though?
Oh, yeah. You know, and she said to me, "Dad, 2 years ago, I don't think I was mature enough to sing. I'd look at you and probably cry, you know, because we have such a great love affair."
Isn't that nice?
And I think that came through, too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice. She's
And it was kind of a sad thing that Natalie Cole said to Bonnie. She said, "You're lucky, Bonnie, because I had to sing to the screen, and your dad's still alive."
Yeah. That would be. Yeah.
So as long as we're here, we do what we can. I'm glad I got that in because it's great to have that on tape and stuff. And they'll probably show it. Oh, I think they can show it as much as they want. They'll probably use it for fundraising for KCT.
Yeah. And I'm sure she's going to go.
And after I saw it, I thought I should tip the cameraman. I said, "I don't look that good."
Well, you look great. I remember seeing you in the Pajama Game, and it was you look just the same. The minute
it's funny looking at you. The one thing about the films, you look at that, and it's hard to relate to that period of time and see that guy almost look like somebody else. We had an interesting thing. We did a 5-minute stint on the Sunday Today show, and they took the first 8 bars of "Hey There" from Pajama Game, from the picture, and right at the end of the 8th bar, they cut to what we did on the Boston Pops. And what pleased me a lot, the voice hadn't changed very much.
No, you sound like...
The picture you saw was a little different.
You sound good. You look good, I'm telling
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you think...
I had one of those unusual things in life. I believe a lot in circles like Mary Martin, my dear friend, believed in. Because here I am living right next door in Pacific Palisades where I auditioned for John Charles Thomas, audiences may remember, 52 years ago. And that was when I was deciding whether to be a tenor or a baritone. And I never forget, he said, "Well," he says, "you look like a baritone. It's the American voice. And there's those money notes up there for the baritone. And if you're a tenor, you have to sing them. I think I'd rather be a good baritone than a half-baked tenor." He said. So I took his advice. And then 41 years after I had a romance with a Placentia Spanish land grant gal called Rosemary Kramer, and they separated us on the Catholic Protestant. I was Scotch Presbyterian, she's Roman Catholic. So 41 years after they separated us, we got back together. We've been now married 11 years again. So that's a great circle in life, too.
How about that? That's good.
Yeah.
And you're not going to try to convert her, and she's not going to try to convert you?
No. I think she's a roaming Catholic now, I think. I don't know what I am.
Do you have any other children?
Yeah, 2 boys, one either side of Bonnie. The oldest is a fine singer. He doesn't want to be the third rate, so when he does sing, he sings the Steve Canyon of all things. And he installs high-tech sound systems in those big homes on Lake Minnetonka, just outside of Minneapolis. And my youngest son has got a little band, and he's up in Northern California, Ukiah, and he sits in with Bonnie sometimes, plays the bongos or something. He plays about 7 instruments and writes songs, but neither one of them want to be in the business professionally.
Oh, really?
I never tried to push any of them because it's tough business.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I've been very lucky. I didn't have to do anything else but sing.
Good.
Well, at the right place. I've auditioned probably 100 singers, and I said if I could put 1,000 singers, I mean, I could put that voice in that body and in that personality, maybe we'd have what you call something special. Doesn't happen that often, you know.
No, no.
Because we don't, and also, it's changed a lot. Right in my family is a big musical generation gap, right?
You think it's harder to get into the business today than it was when you...
Yeah,
when you
there are
went
fewer
in the
people,
30s?
more people, and fewer places to do it.
Yeah.
20 years ago, there were about 40 summer theaters in the United States that could afford me. There may be 10 left. VCRs, type of music,
Sure.
product itself. We don't have the Irving Berlins and the Richard Rodgers and the Hammerstein and all those,
No.
you know,
Think they'll
Cole
ever
Porters.
come back, though?
Not like that, but they'll come back, sure.
I mean,
yeah.
that style.
Because we had a
of
pretty good season on Broadway this year.
Yeah.
And with God, the Phantom of the Opera's broken all
Right.
attendance records of any musical that was done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think people like, because we like, I think people still like to go. It's awful tough they have to pay that much money.
Well, that's true with...
I sat in the theater, same theater I did Carousel at the Majestic, and the top price ticket was $4.40. Same seat, probably haven't changed the seat.
And that
you know,
isn't $4
or $60, yeah.
Yeah. Holy no.
So I mean, a young couple from, say, New Jersey goes over to park their car and have dinner and go to the theater. It's got to cost like $300.
Wow. Wow.
So they can only go once, maybe once a year if they go.
Yeah.
But it'll always be there. Thank God for that. Oklahoma will be 50 years old next year.
They will.
Yeah.
When
50th anniversary.
When did you...
49.
1949.
1944. It would be 49 for me.
Yeah.
But they're still doing it for us in high schools, all these shows. I get people come and tell me that my daughter was in a Pajama Game production and they played your records and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I'm kicking myself because I sat and thought I forgot to bring the record in on the Pajama Game, and I wanted you to sign that for me. But
yeah. It's a good 50s music
I'll
picture,
just have
too.
it back just so that we'll
Yeah,
you'll
sign
have
that?
to sign it.
That's
sure.
okay. I'll be glad to.
Oh, you're gonna.
I don't like to do these dates where you can just drive down and sing and drive home.
That's
you know,
good.
that's
Did you
fine.
bring your wife tonight?
No, she's not quite up to it.
I was sure hoping Bonnie would just kind of walk on with you.
Yeah,
That
she's
would be
busy
nice.
rehearsing for
Oh,
her
I'm
summer tour.
Sure. I'm joking, of course.
No, I
you
mean,
know,
she'd love to go to a lot of these things.
Does she?
One time we were on the same time the tour, and the buses passed. She was coming this way, I was coming this way. I left a coat in a motel. I said, when I called her, I said, Bonnie, I left my sport coat behind the door of room number whatever. And I said, bring it to me the next time. So that was kind of fun, things like that. But she usually, when I first sang with her, we did a concert in Wallingford, Connecticut, and I said, how'd you feel about it? She says, well, that I felt very uneasy about singing my kind of music to your audience. So I don't know whether they might, if she brought her guitarist and bass player and sing for this audience tonight. But most of the people always that's too noisy. She always hands me the earplugs every time I come here. Dad, you're going to need these.
Well, I would say that when I've had the generation that's now in music come here, if it's not their kind of music, they fill the place with their grandkids and their kids.
Well, that's good. Why not? That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah.
We could.
That's right.
I'm sure we would.
I have a lot of fun these days doing master classes for young aspiring performers. And I said to Mary Martin shortly before she died, I said, wouldn't it be wonderful, Mary, if we could bottle up what you have and give it to the young aspiring performers, because what you have you can't teach, you can't learn, you just have to have it. Yeah. And I said, you have it in spades.
Isn't that marvelous? Yeah.
Yeah.
You really work with some great people.
Oh, I've been so fortunate. Yeah. Can't write the book till after, and I can't publish. I can write it, but I can't publish till after I'm dead, because all the good things in there. Well, the gals that are still alive, they kill me. You know. I tell that, you know.
Right. No, that would.
I got the title of it. It's called Kill 'Em With Kindness, How I Handle My Leading Ladies All These Years.
Is that right?
Yeah. Had a few. Had a few.
Kill 'em with kindness.
Kill 'Em With Kindness.
Have you started a book?
Well, this concert that I do tonight, part of it, the highlights of my musical theatrical, I'll tell little stories which people seem to love. And I have, in the full concert, which is about almost 2 hours, I go from that desert song in Fullerton to when I do Man of La Mancha at the end. And it's almost a musical theatrical autobiography, you know. And it's,
tell the audience right quick about VJ Day. You were in
oh, well, you always remember that. I was doing Carousel, and I've been out playing golf on Long Island, and I didn't know about this, and I came in and I heard this tumultuous sound as I approached Times Square, and I had my golf clubs. And did I get kidded? Because I had to go across Times Square to go to the Majestic, which the stage was on 45th. So I was on 44th at the time, and I wound up on 46th Street. Took me 45 minutes, but thank God I had. In some ways, I had this, but the wife behind me and the golf clubs in front, and just start. But what an exciting moment it was. Also scary when you get 2 million people in that area.
So you opened late.
About 9:15 when we got up. You know.
How'd the show go?
Oh, I think it's fine. You know, kids, the shows go pretty much the same. I don't think anything bothers it too much.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell the
No,
audience?
they're just great to keep going. The main thing is you try to go that way. It's fun to talk about things back there, but we got to keep the challenge in front of us, I think.
You ever sing with big bands at all?
No.
Never
sang
been?
big orchestras.
Yeah, big orchestras,
Yeah.
right.
I
But you never had that road thing that your daughter's going through?
No,
and
only
things
the
like
summer stock.
Yeah.
So it would play like 10 different places every summer. 1 week stands, you know, stuff.
Big productions, though.
Well, sort of. Sometimes in the round, sometimes they're in big places. Not what she plays. I mean, she just was over in Europe and played with Elton John. There's 70,000 people in the Wembley Stadium, you know. I think that bothered her a little bit, too, because she's used to having the comfort of her band behind her, and a lot of people out there, you know. So when you don't put so many people out there and get into a small area, well, we were in an auditorium that said 2,500, but she hadn't played that small place for quite a while.
That's what we see here, 2,500.
Good.
It's really been great just meeting you. I'm
Fine,
telling you,
thank
it's
I get
a
such
thrill.
I get some of these people say, "Weren't you John Raitt?" You know. I said, "No, that's me. That's me." Right.
Well, I'm just happy you got to come to see us.
Well, that's great.
If the audience is, this audience can't come and see you, maybe next time you come, they'll be able to
Hope so.
come out.
Hope so.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure to talk to you. Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure talking to John Raitt, and I hope that you've enjoyed this segment as much as I have. Thank you. Good night.
The next performer needs really no introduction. I'm sure you've all heard of him. Many of you told me the other night that you have gone to his performances through the years. He was in Oklahoma, Carousel, the Pajama Game. The list goes on and on. Please welcome the great John Raitt.
change in the weather. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Everything's going my way. Yo! They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, so they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, so they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. And the thing that's known as romance is wonderful, wonderful in every way. So they say. Rumors fly and they often leave a doubt, but you've come to the right place to find out. Everything that you've heard is really so. I've been there once or twice, and I should know. You'll find that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, as they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, as they tell you. You'll leave your house some morning, and without any warning, you're stopping people, shouting that love is grand. And to hold a girl in your arms is wonderful, wonderful in every way, as they say. Thank you. If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame. If ever I would leave you, how could it be in autumn? Seeing you in autumn, I never would go. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. Or could I leave you running merrily through the snow? Or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow? never I would leave you. How could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by